Good morning from my office again, as other commitments have me sort of homebound for work this week. And we appreciate the handful of you who are sticking with us for this at the moment. We expect to get some actual publicity regarding this YouTube channel in coming weeks. Now to the news. This is the beginning of Making America Rich Again, end quote. That's what President Trump proclaimed last evening as he signed an executive order putting 25% tariffs on all steel and aluminum imported into the U.S. To be clear, this is not specifically targeting Canada and Mexico, but would impact the two places that export the most steel to the U.S. Ireland makes a lot of steel that it is cost-effective enough to be shipped into the United States. As for aluminum, well, Canada's got a lot of that, and the airline industry uses a lot of it. Our neighbor to the north is fourth in the list of countries with the most aluminum. Canada follows China, India, and Russia. This new trade war front, like most others, begs the question of how much it might add to the cost of imported steel and aluminum materials. Steel especially gets used a lot in American manufacturing plants, including for making vehicles. One example is the stamping of the doors, let's say, on an automotive vehicle or something like that. The plant that stamps that door is going to look for the best price for steel. Conversely, how much might this prompt those manufacturing plants to buy American metal goods? And of course, any nation that might be singled out by these new tariffs will look to strike back at the U.S. Stay tuned, since Trump has promised more tariffs this week, seemingly with the European Union in his sights. Federal Judge John McConnell in Rhode Island court ruled Monday the Trump administration has not followed his ruling from nearly 2 weeks ago when he told OMB to unfreeze grants and loans approved by Congress. A number of states, including Rhode Island, filed a suit against the idea of withholding that money. And McConnell ruled yesterday the administration has not complied, at least fully. Rather than comply, the Trump Justice Department immediately appealed McConnell's ruling to the First U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals. Many agencies and states and federal and aid groups and non-governmental aid groups say the funds that are supposed to be available to them are not available. These organizations are supposed to be able to withdraw from these accounts to pay for things like workers' salaries and things like breakfasts for Head Start and Meals on Wheels. There are a number of lawsuits looking to halt the funding freeze, but over the weekend, Vice President J.D. Vance suggested the courts should have no say in what the executive wants to do. All of this led Senator Chris Murphy of Connecticut to say Sunday the nation is heading for a true constitutional crisis when a president and those around him think they can ignore a judge's order. With Ear on the White House, I'm Bob Costantini.